Downloading and installing the Anchor server is easy. Simply go to anchorworks.com and click the download button towards the top. You're going to need to register first so that you can get a license that will allow you to register the server. Once you've registered, simply go back to the download page on anchorworks.com and click the download button. It will begin a download of the latest server installer. I've already downloaded it to my desktop, so I'm going to run it from here. This installation usually takes 5 to 10 minutes. Note, you must run the installer as a local admin. You must be a local user on the machine. This cannot be a domain admin. The reason for this is because we create a user account on the Windows machine for our Postgres execution. And unfortunately, there are complications when attempting to do this as a domain admin. So if you haven't already, make sure to log in as a local administrator on the machine. Simply follow the instructions to get the server installed. Choose the drive on which you would like the Anchor server installed. You can choose where you're going to save your files to later. You can definitely put this on a separate hard drive. We will install Python, Postgres, Apache, and some of our core components. Note that if you are prompted to enter a password for a Postgres user, this is likely because you are logged in as a domain administrator. You're going to have to cancel the installation, log out, and log back in as a local machine admin. Great. Now that the installation is complete, go ahead and push Finish, and you'll see that it'll prompt you for your license key. Go ahead and enter the license key that you had previously been provided. It will be validated on the spot. Enter a contact email address that you would like to use to configure your account, along with a password that meets the complexity requirements detailed here, and a mobile phone number for this administrative account in case you would like to receive alerts to your mobile phone. When setting the host name, you're going to want to put the publicly available host name or IP address that the agents will be resolving to contact the Anchor server. If you are simply going to be doing testing, you can set this for localhost, but note, any agents that you download subsequently will not be able to reach the server because they won't know where it sits on the network. So I'm going to go ahead and ping for my machine's IP address, just locally here, so at least I can test with agents that are on the network. When choosing your file and database store locations, this will determine where the raw binary data that is stored on the Anchor server is going to be saved. So I'm going to go ahead and install it on my C drive, but if you had additional hard drives here, they would be listed. Note that they must be permanently mounted drives. They can't be network drives or the like. They have to be permanently mounted drives. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder, and I'm just going to call it Anchor Files. Now you also have the option to choose your database store. This is basically the metadata for the files. File name, revision information, file size information, modified information. We keep these separate to help with speed. By default, these are stored within the C Anchor server install directory, but you can optionally create a new folder and put these in there. You can also put these on a separate drive along with your Anchor files if you like. The SQLite databases don't get big at all, so you don't have to worry too much about leaving a lot of space for it. The binary data, you definitely want to make sure that you put it on a hard drive that has a lot of space. I should mention that you will be able to add additional hard drives or add additional file stores in the future through the web interface. And we will horizontally distribute the data across all of the file stores that you've specified. Here you can set some of the policy information for the first company that's created. This is for your default organization. I'm going to go ahead and pass this up for now because this can be configured later. Then you have the option of choosing your encryption type. By default, we recommend the persistent encryption mode, which means that the key is going to be permanently stored in the database. So if the server accidentally restarts, the key will still be there and the service will continue to operate as normal. The transient encryption key mode will actually store the encryption key in memory and secure it with a key pass. So you'll notice if you select transient mode, you have to enter this key password. This is in case your server gets stolen, gets turned off and turned back on. No one will be able to access the data without entering this key password. We only recommend this if you don't trust the location where your server sits or you think that the box could be compromised. Otherwise, we recommend persistent mode just in case that the server needs to restart because of an update. The Anchor service can then resume normally. And then you can set your own mail server. By default, we provide a service that will send the email for you, but you can also configure any of your own email servers through this interface. And you can set this up later if you'd like. And that's it. As you can see, my organizations have been configured. My default organization has been set with the settings that I chose during the system setup. I can go ahead and change the information here. And that concludes the Anchor server system setup and installation.